Good day, everyone. It's your host, Paul Lawrence Vann, and of course, I host Wealth Academy podcast. I also want to say our mantra is and always will be wealth is more than just money. Hey, I'm glad that you could join me today on this beautiful December 8th here in the winter of the year of 2021. And I'm primarily on this particular episode because I want to have and conduct a year in review. I do this every year. I did it on my radio show, did it on the podcast last year. Now I'm doing it again this year, not only to talk about the podcast itself, but also my business. And one of the things that I wanted to do, and which I'm going to cover today, is really a month by month, play by play of some of the things that happened. And there were a lot of great things that happened this year. And one of the things I want to say is that none of this would have been possible without you. So thank you so much for being with me on this particular journey. I just wanted to say that I started Wealth Building Academy LLC several years ago. And I started out as a professional speaker. And then I conducted training. I did a lot of diversity training. And then I did some coaching. And as a part of that process, I also became an author. And so it leads up to where I am today. Well, I still continue to do those things. I'm going to actually do more speaking next year than I did the last several years, only because, of course, the pandemic. And I want to share this year with you. So thanks for being with me. And one of the things I want to do starting at the beginning of this year was to scale my business, to take it from where it was to where I want it to be. And I'm well into that particular space. And part of it, of course, entails a lot of coaching. I also conduct a lot of course creation, which is what I really found that I really enjoyed doing. I really like that course creation where I'm designing courses, virtual courses, which really helps make a difference for my clients and the students that I work with. So scaling my business was a goal for this year. And in many ways, I have done it. And so I will continue to increase and expand on this going forth 2022. And that's one reason why I'm having this year in review, because 2022 is here. It's just a matter of these calendar days passing by, but for all intents and purposes, 2022 is almost here. And then look at February. And what I did in February, part of expanding my business and my brand is I joined Traffic Sales and Profit, TSP, based out of Atlanta with Lamar Tyler. And so I joined that and it helped my efforts to expand because it focused on the marketing, the traffic, and then, of course, the sales. And so it was a great experience. And this took place in February of this year. And he leads a dynamic group out of Atlanta, where I used to live, and is doing some remarkable things. So it really helped make a difference for my business this year. And then in March came that course creation bug, and that bug really bit me, and it really got to me. And so I started designing courses and also coaching. And I designed one course that is mind over money mindset. So it's more of a financial intelligence course where people the focus is on mindset, but it's also on helping people to become financially free, showing them how that they can leverage where they are today and be able to find themselves, for example, at the end of this year where they have no debt. And there's a difference between good debt and bad debt. But that's one of the things I came up with. And the second one was a youth entrepreneurship program, which is something I've always been passionate about. And I believe it's that way because I was a youth at one point. And at the age of 10, I helped my parents in their grocery store. So it's my way of giving back. And so I have this course design as well. And both of them are doing quite well with my students. And then I have a coaching program also on podcasting, where I teach people how they can become a great interviewer, because it's one thing to be on a podcast or radio or television, but it's a whole other thing when people have that ability to really be able to interview well. And with my online radio show, which is Wealth the Wealthy Speaker Show, I have over 900 episodes. And then on the podcast, I'm right at about a little bit over 165, but I'm heading to 170 really quick. So I have a lot of experience at that and television experience as well, working with CBS channel here in Washington, D.C., doing live interviews for a show. And that helped me to understand interviewing and having those interviewing skills that can make an impact. And so that's part of what March was all about. And then I looked at April with client attraction. And what I mean by trying to traction is that I put all of my efforts into marketing, different social media types of applications. And then, of course, coming in with the podcast, I was at first a audio only podcaster, and I performed that over Zoom, but I moved over to StreamYard. And so I'm able to not only interview the audio, but also the video piece as well. And that video piece uploads to YouTube and then LinkedIn as well as Facebook, like it is right now. And so it was very important for me to make that transition because I can literally have my own media platform and I can engage with my followers, the fans and customers and students anytime that I want to. And again, for my podcast, that continues to be a very intricate part of the business itself because it definitely attracts a community, it builds a community, and it attracts prospects. And it also can be a revenue generating platform as well by marketing people, whether it's an author, a coach, or a consultant, and even businesses. And so I look at myself as doing a lot more in 2022 as it pertains to a lot of the live streaming that is taking place right now. And people ask, well, how did you learn all this? Well, trial and error. You don't have to be perfect at anything. You just have to put forward a good effort. And I think a good effort really helps. And I tried a few things, a couple of platforms, and they didn't quite work for me. But StreamYard works extremely well because as this particular live stream is taking place, it's also it's also recording the audio portion too, so I can separate them, load it up to all of my podcast channels, and then be able to disseminate that out all over the world. And then in May, it was all about making that transition from audio only to audio and visual. And a lot of people are not familiar or may not be cognizant of my platform, but I've interviewed people in Scotland, in the UK. I've interviewed people in Belgium, in Switzerland, in Ecuador, in Jamaica, in Australia, in New Zealand, and all parts in between. I've interviewed people from all over the world. So it's more of an international platform as well. And then when you start to look at the different countries that support and listen to my show, the US, of course, is number one by far, but India is number two. And then I have Spain, Italy, France, Germany, Canada, the UK, on and on, even people in Russia. So there are a lot of people from all over the world who are listening, and because they're looking for really good content. And not only do I provide solo presentations and podcast episodes, but also bring on guests, and that really makes a tremendous difference as well. So May was really big for me because I made that transition into the live stream position. Then in June, I came in with that youth entrepreneurship program. Now, why is this important? To me, it's very important because I know that youth of today really want to lead their own businesses. They don't really want to work for anyone. And as a result, they are starting their own businesses, whether it's designing websites or if it's coding or any other technology related type of business. They're already doing it, but they just don't know all the intricacies of leading a business. And I take them on this youth entrepreneurship program, which is a 6-week program. And I show them how to get started, the things they need to look at, such as taxes and incorporation, and also how they want to market and different things such as that. And it's more of a formal program that when they complete it, they'll have a certificate of completion and they will know exactly what to do, to include a business plan. And so it's something that I've always been interested in doing. And I finally have this course design, and it's there for students uh, between the ages of 15 and 21 is what I have. But when you really get down to it, also adults could go through this program and they will learn a lot as well. And that's one of the things that I've brought on board with this youth entrepreneurship program. And then in July, it was all about interviewing some amazing guests. So I had people on such as Anthony O'Neill. And Anthony, of course, has a wonderful YouTube channel, and he does a lot on finances. And his book is a #1 national bestseller, and it's debt-free education or going through college. So I interviewed him and Steve Seibo, and he had a #1 book doing great things. And I have just a ton of just amazing guests that come on from all over the world, throughout the US. And I'm averaging roughly a little bit over almost 11 episodes per month. And at one point, I was almost doing 20 per month. And I cut back a little bit, but now I'm still back on a roll. And I started the podcast in August 2020, and now I'm up to 165 episodes. So I'm on a pretty good clip for 15 months, and really engaging a lot, not only with followers and fans, but also with some customers as well. Coaching, it really positions us well for that. And then in August, it was all about the marketing, just marketing, marketing, marketing. And I'm finding that a lot of people are not going back to work and they are starting businesses, and many people want to know how to do it. And so part of that process is for people to become financially free. Financially free. I think that's most important, because it's hard to do anything if you're ridden with debt. And this time of year, it's a great time to position yourself to be debt free, because we're going into a new year and you have to file those taxes. And so there are quite a few things that are taking place that you need to position yourself to do. But August was really all about marketing, and marketing from the standpoint of being on the podcast, marketing for being on the live stream, being in social media, being interviewed on other guest host shows. I've been interviewed this year as well. And at some point, I'll upload all of them so that you can listen to a few of those as well. And I talk about the business, my business, and what I do. And of course, next year, I will be speaking a lot more, probably more virtual, because that's tending to be a trend, as well as obtaining that interviewing on television shows, on radio shows, etc. So there are a lot more to come on that. But in this year of review, I'm just giving you some of the things that happened in the platform that I was on. And in September, it was all about business alignment, and that's getting the course creation, the podcasting, and the coaching all rolled into one, and getting everything situated such that I'll be able to work more efficiently and being able to help more people. Because in this business that I'm in, as a content creator, coach, speaker, and podcaster, it's really all about solving people's problems, their issues, and finding solutions for them. And really, it stems really from being in the Air Force. And being in the Air Force was all about being service before self. And that has not stopped for me. I continue to want to do that, and I continue to do that in my own way. And I don't want to be like anyone else. I don't want to be compared to any other speaker, any other podcaster, any other coach, any other content creator, because we're all born and created with our very own unique and special gifts. And I applaud people who are out there and they are really doing well. I applaud them, but I don't want to be like them. I want to be like me. And you should want to be like you, because you're a great gift to humanity as well. And so for me, I applaud other people. And that's why I don't have a problem with interviewing people in my same space, people in the financial intelligence, financial services industry, because everyone can learn. There's enough for everyone to go around. And one of the things I do not do is take other people's content and information and use it for myself, because it won't work anyway. And so I really appreciate the tremendous people that I've interviewed this year, because I know it makes a difference. And then in October, it was more focused on the live streaming. The live streaming is very impactful because it's more global. It can be global. People can watch it from anywhere. And so I really like that platform. And of course, November, the podcast guest sources. What's been happening to me for the past maybe 90 days is that I have people that reach out to me from podcast guest organizations. In other words, they have a list of people that pay them to find someone that will interview them. And so over the past 90 days, I've received so many guests, experts that came on my podcast, came on this podcast. And it's because people have acknowledged that Wealth Academy podcast is a really wonderful source for people to make a case for their particular expertise. And a lot of it is people who are financial, but it's other people as well. And on occasion, I do have guests that sign up. We do all the preliminary things together. And at the last minute, they decide they don't want to be a guest. But it's not a bad situation, because I believe that if they decided not to become a guest, the least thing they could do is just let you know. I don't have a problem with that. But recently, I had a few people who signed up, about 3 people signed up to be a guest, and they never contacted me to say, hey, we're not going to do it. I had did all the leg work, all the interview questions. I've done some flyers, but I'm glad that they did not come on the show and I did not interview them, because I truly believe that they would not have been good for Wealth Academy podcast community. And I think they recognize that, and this is their way of showing that it would not be good for them, which is fine, because I have more than enough guests that will be on this podcast and on this live stream. And of course, now December is here. And so I'm focusing right now, Wealth Academy podcast and Wealth Building Academy, it's focused on our goals for 2022. And so I'm looking at having a new book out. I'm going to actually upgrade my podcast format, but I will be doing a lot more speaking, a lot more. I'm going back to how I started in the industry, and that was in the speaking industry. That's how I got started. So I'm going back to what I've always known, and I know it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm rested up too. I've been getting in shape of late. I've really been hitting the gym hard, and I have a stress test coming up here this week, and I'm getting in conditioning for this, because I know there will be times I'll be traveling, and you have to be in shape nowadays because of the pandemic, the wear and tear, and I just simply want to be ready for it. And the new book that's coming out is going to be a book on financial literacy and financial freedom. That's really the vein or the space that new book is going to be in. And so this is going to conclude this particular live stream. I just want to share this with you all, because I also want to thank you all for supporting me all of this year, and being just great fans, followers, and also clients. And I want to also thank Askia Davis Sr. out of New York, who has worked with me throughout the year with coaching clients and him providing expert advice to me. So I want to put a shout out to Askia up there in New York. And he knows a lot about finances, about investing, about real estate, stocks, and someone who I always enjoy working with. So this is going to conclude this session. Again, I'm your host, Paul Lawrence Vann. I will be interviewing more people before this year is out, but I just wanted to give you this year in review, because the time is going by so fast. And I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know what I have planned coming up the latter part of this year, as well as the early part of next year, which 2022 is going to be a very big year. So thank you so much. And again, wealth is more than just money. Have a great evening, everyone, and God bless us all. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This is Paul Lawrence Vann signing out. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next episode of Wealth Academy Podcast. Take good care. Goodbye.